Hello and welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
Derry.
Pumyra.
How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Still
I'm
alive.
cold. Freezing.
How cold is it there?
Ramen?
21.
It's not that much
We're
below
legal
us.
age, at least.
I'd take that as a sign to get drunk.
Howdy, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
I might have a drink later.
Yeah, you know how our kids felt about that.
It'd be all right.
Hey, Woody, how's it going? We were just talking about books. We have Pumyra, who is working on finishing a chapter, and Derry, who is talking about his latest endeavor.
Oh, yeah. I was just reading. I was reading the comment about Madness Network is serving a 7-day ban. Is that like YouTube or something?
Yeah, YouTube got a 7-day ban.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. So I'm currently reading. Let me see here. Wind and Truth, Brandon Sanderson's newest Stormlight Archive book. Basically 1,400 pages. So now I'm not reading it. I'm having it read to me.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
He uses the same narrators on Audible that did the Wheel of Time, Michael Kramer and Kate Reading. So he uses them. So obviously, if it's a female-driven chapter or section, Kate reads it. If it's a male-driven, Michael reads it. So that I rather listen to them, and I'll probably start it again right after I listen to it through the first time. But I'm about halfway through, so
yeah,
it's picking up steam. Which his books tend to give a lot of information on the front end, backstory, all kinds of stuff, and then typically towards the middle, there's like a really powerful, like it builds up to a point, and then obviously then it comes down a little bit, and then it starts building towards the end. So I'm expecting, hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 chapters that shit's going to get real for the. I mean, there's been some cool shit, but
yeah, of course. So, just give us a little bit of a backstory on just sort of like what is the Stormlight Archive? What are those books about?
So it's set in a universe that Brandon Sanderson's created. So he has it's called the Cosmere. He has a connected universe that connects some of his books, not all of them. Like, so the Mistborn books are part of the Cosmere. Stormlight Archive books, which are on the world Roshar, they're in the Cosmere. Warbreaker, I believe Elantris is in it. But these stories happen on different planets in this same massive universe. But there's characters that appear from different book series and other book series, and they might go by certain names, or their names might have changed, and you have to figure out from clues who they are. So it's a pretty big undertaking, and Stormlight Archive is like his flagship. He does a lot of other like book series. So like he does a teen book series. It's what the fuck is it called? It's right here. Starsight. It's about a younger girl who I haven't read them. Yeah. But I have them on my list to read. But it's like a kind of a teen series, young adult fiction about a girl who like dreams of going into space and all that. So I think that's called the Sidoverse is what that one's called. But he does a lot of really good books. He's the one who finished The Wheel of Time. But really the Stormlight Archive is it's a world very different from ours. There's this thing called investiture, which gives powers throughout this universe. This planet has certain types of powers. the humans are basically fight every so many thousand years to lock away these evil beings that want to take over the planet and basically kill the humans. And there used to be gods. They're trying to figure out what happened to them. But then there were these things called the heralds, which are like humans with powers, but they were like really like powerful compared to just some of the other power users. And they betrayed what they called the Oath Pact, and it's put this world into chaos. And it's really cool. Like the ending of the second book is probably one of the coolest endings to a book I've ever read. So
Really?
Words of Radiance, which I actually just got the leather-bound copy of it.
Jeez.
Right before Christmas. So I've got the first book, Way of Kings, and the second book now. I've got the special edition signed leatherbacks from him. So
wow,
I'll get every one of them in the leather-bound. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but there's this is the fifth book, but then there's also 2 novellas that give you more insight in between. But I mean, I would recommend anything for the most part that he's written. Like he's probably my favorite fantasy author of all time.
Okay.
I mean, closely second would be Wheel of Time, but there was a few books in the Wheel of Time that were hard to get through.
Well, kind of a stinker, eh?
Well, it's just they call it the slog because, and I'm afraid that Brandon Sanderson might do this in Stormlight. Robert Jordan had created so many character storylines that through like 3 books, characters were making very little progress in their storylines because he had to try to cover so much.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones even did that, where I believe it's book 3 and 4. Book 3 is about a certain set of characters, and then book 4 is about a certain set of characters, and all that shit happens at the same time, which became kind of confusing to people. And then Dance with Dragons kind of went back to the original 2 books' styles. So, but I mean, George R.R. Martin can rot in hell because we're never going to see that fucking book.
No kidding.
So he just keeps working on shows about shit I don't care about. So
I don't even know what he's working on.
Well, he did the House of Dragons bullshit.
Well, even that got crap like thrown out about it.
Oh shit! So, the season 2 season finale, like, I just want to stab somebody. Like it builds up, and it just never gets to the point where it climaxes. So.
Yeah.
You could make all kinds of sexual references there. But,
yeah, I was just gonna let those lie for a minute.
Yeah, so we could have just went X-rated real fast, but
yeah,
I have self-restraint these days.
Yep, I'm proud of my self-restraint as well. So.
But yeah, fucking George R.R. Martin. Don't get me started on that dude. Him or Patrick Rothfuss, like 2 of my favorite authors that just shit on their fan bases for over 10 years now. Like,
yeah,
piss off.
And wasn't it like a 10-year wait between the book 3 or book 4 and book 5 even? Like,
I don't know if it was that long, but it was a significant period.
Yeah.
So
I remember the show just came on and I was all excited about it. And then I found out that there were books, and my buddy Dana was just like, "Oh yeah, they're great books, but yeah." Then he went, waxed about George R.R. Martin. Didn't have kind words to say.
Yeah,
they're wonderful books. Don't get me wrong, but the dude takes his time.
Yeah, and I mean, there's that book series. Like, there's flaws in it. Like, the first 2 books had me really engaged. Book 3 was pretty good. I was not a fan of book 4. Book 5 kind of redeemed it a little bit, and then this dude just shot himself in the dick with 12 years or something now. We've been waiting on this damn book. So
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would read it. If it came out, I don't even know if I'd read it at this point. Because the series was, in my opinion, dog shit. Even from way before other people started hating it. Like, I think I was done with it during season 3 sometime. I was like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they cut out
one of my favorite characters, Lemerson or whatever his name was. I forget. It's been so long.
Yeah, mine was the Greyjoy uncles, like Theon Greyjoy's uncles, Victarion, Aeon, and I can't remember the other one. Right. And the Crow's Eyes, what they call him. But they just cut that whole fucking storyline out. And I was like,
why?
Forget this. Like they were some of the coolest characters in the books. Their whole like fight with each other. And my blood pressure is going up talking about this.
You want to talk about what your books are about, April, Pumyra?
I'm reading Frida McFadden. She is a psychologist or a neurosurgeon. Anyway, she writes psychological thrillers.
Nice.
When you think you have it figured out, you don't at all. So I'm in the middle of The Perfect Son.
Nice.
Yeah, back during COVID, like I started writing a psychological thriller because one of my goals was to always write a book. So I wrote like a fantasy novel. And then when I got it done, I started the second one, but then I kind of went on this side trip of writing like a psychological thriller about a serial killer set in like rural Indiana. So like where I'm from, farm country. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and then I stopped. So I got to finish that shit, which my educational background's in psychology. So I used a lot of that. I mean, it's easy to write when like, like the mind. Oh, it's so good for that kind of shit.
She's awesome. You think you have it figured out. You don't. Not at all. And her first movie's coming out. Well, they start filming. I think they started filming it today, The Housemaid. It's a 3-book series with a novella.
I don't know if my wife's read that because she's big into like psychological thriller.
Frida McFadden.
I'll have to.
I'll have to
tell her.
So she got me back. Well, she got me into reading. Yeah.
Well,
I've read 6 of her books so far.
Yeah, and you had previously only read like what, Twilight series?
Yeah, and that took me years.
Well, I can see why, because
they sparkle.
Terrible. You're better off reading Harry Potter, one of the greatest book series ever.
Harry Potter's just Star Wars with shitty lightsabers.
I don't know.
No, that's a quote from another show. It's not mine. I'm just campaigning it for tonight. But and yes, that's looking at you, Jessica, who's might or might not watch the replay. I'm calling your favorite franchise out. Yeah. Nah. Just kidding.
So the greatest name has entered the chat ever.
Yeah, I was just
talking Stephen Hawking. Wins. Winner right there. Yep. Oh man. It's great.
I'm glad you caught us too. Because I mean, it is not every day we see a name that epic.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like something I would handle. I would run under.
I know. So my mom says that she just watched all 5 Twilight movies over the New Year.
Should have just spent your time doing something else.
Yeah.
You could have like washed the house or, damn.
Yeah, I tried rewatching them like in today, like last year or something. You could see the strings. It was so cheesy. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. It has not aged well, which I didn't think it was that good in the first place. But
I would definitely say the first one didn't age well, but I thought the others were okay, but it's been so long since I've seen them. I mean, I saw them in theaters. and that's with having a moaning lady sitting next to me, and she was literally
You're
like
right.
having an orgasm in the next seat right here.
Sounds
when
like
we were
the
in
first
movie
time I saw
theater.
Titanic.
Well, your mom
But-
covered your ears for that. And eyes.
Yeah, no eyes, but yeah.
What, for Titanic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She didn't want to go alone the first 10 times she saw it. Here we go. What's she gonna say?
Best part of Twilight is when they make you think they all die at one point. That's fair.
Best part of Twilight was the end credits on
ending?
the last movie. Because then I knew the torture was over.
Oh, y'all crack me up.
Oh.
Well, they still have to make Midnight Sun or whatever that book is called. It's from Twilight, but from Edward's perspective. And it,
Yeah.
I guess, from someone who's read it, I heard that it's just really like creepy, like
cringe.
Yeah, because it just talks like a lot about like how obsessed he is about this little teenage girl and how he's like, why can't he read her mind and all this other stuff, and he's just like, because she also smelled really good to him or something, right? I
Yeah,
think that was a thing. But anyway, so then he just talks about the overwhelming sensation of her smell and crap like that. So just hearing that alone was just made me like, okay, well, I'll know not to watch it if they ever decide to make a movie about it. But anyway,
the book's sitting right here.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. But what was I? Oh, what you watching? Let's talk about that real quick. 20 minutes.
I got 20 minutes to talk about. I'm trying to think. Damn, there was one that I just started watching that I was going to bring up, and now I can't think of it. Because I finished The Jetty, which was on BritBox.
Okay.
Oh, Dune Prophecy. So I've started Dune Prophecy on Max, and I think I'm through 3 episodes, and I think it might only be 6. Okay. And I mean, it's good so far.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near as good as the 2 movies that have come out.
I was gonna say it didn't look that spectacular, but
it's about the Bene Gesserit and how they become more powerful, and that's such. I mean, it's important to the movies, but it's such a smaller part, I want to say, of the main storyline for Dune. Like his mom is Bene Gesserit, like he's got some of that shit in him, but I don't know. It's got the dude from Vikings in it, Travis Fimmel. I usually like stuff that he's in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love Ragnar. He's so great.
He's in it. There is a crime series that he's in, set in Australia. It's Black Snow, I think's the name of it. He's a detective in it. It is really good. And then there's a show on Netflix called Boy Eats World that he's a side character in for part of it. That show's really good too, but I've never seen anything that he's in that's really not that good. So
it's on Sling for free. Interesting.
Which one? Black Snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's I like that show because he plays the detective really well.
Nice.
Add it to our list.
I will.
And then the one on Netflix is Boy Eats World, I think, and it's even without him, like the main kid in it is funny. Like the shit that he gets into is funny as hell. So yeah, it's good.
Well, we have been catching up on Landman, So we're all caught up, and we're ready to fire away a series review with you when the last 2 episodes or 3.
No, it's only 2 more. It's 9 and 10. There's only 10 episodes in this season, and last week was 8.
Yeah. I thought I saw somewhere that there was another one beyond that, but I'm not going to argue with you.
Or at least that's what I've been told and seen. So
okay, so I like binged a series last week. It was on MGM. It's called Earth Abides, which has Ragnar's son.
Oh, the tall kid.
Yeah.
God, I always forget his name.
Yeah. Oh, what is his name? I've
It's like tip of the tongue.
Something Ironside or
no.
I meant his name on the show.
I'm thinking like what I'm trying to figure out what is. He was in Heels, so
yeah,
I'll pull it up real quick. Alexander Ludwig.
Yeah, that's right. But so I watched that, and at the time there was only 3 episodes, and it said it was a mini series. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just watch this mini series. No big deal, right? Yeah, Bjorn Ironside, that's his name. I'm like, yeah, so I'll watch this mini series real quick and finished it. And then they're like, stay tuned for the 4th episode. And it's like, are you kidding me? Jeez. And we don't have MGM anymore. So it's like, oh boy. So, but it was interesting. I'm not going to say it was bad, because I don't think it was bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was really kind of slow. So like something happens to the main character, and I'm still strapped behind the wheel of a bus. We're just talking about what we're watching. You missed the part where we were talking about books, buddy. Sorry you had to be at work.
Yes, missed you.
Yeah,
his eyes always glaze over when I start talking about books anyway, so
right.
He's probably happy.
But so something happens to him in the beginning that sort of makes him incapacitated, and he wakes up and he looks around, and has like a ton of missed calls on his phone. Well, no, I think he actually even lost his phone. It doesn't matter. So anyway, he starts driving around town, and no one is there. Every single person is gone. Everything. And so he's puzzling over this, trying to figure it out. Driving here, driving there, goes to see his parents, and his parents are not very well, so to speak. But it's too much to explain exactly. It's sort of like a zombie apocalypse, but it's not. Okay, it's not a zombie apocalypse.
It reminds me kind of, there's a show that used to be on called The Leftovers.
Yeah.
I think it's on Max, where it's not zombie or anything, but 2% of the population disappears like on this one day. And like the main character, he's like cheating on his wife, and the lady he's doing it with disappears in the middle of it. Yeah. So, and it's actually I thought it was a pretty good show. The premise, which I won't give away here, when you learn it in one of the later seasons, is actually really fucking cool.
The Leftovers, right there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Somebody's hungry.
Yeah. So something tells me he has some leftovers to get to.
I need some leftovers.
Hopefully
Yeah.
it's not Christmas dinner, because that happened a long time ago.
Yeah. But so anyway, this series, he finally finds a few people, and in like Vegas or something. That's how he's on one side of the. He's over somewhere in South Carolina, or not South Carolina. Why did I say that? In California somewhere, and has to drive all the way to Nevada, and where he finds people, a few survivors, and they end up not doing very well. I'm doing so well with the story, so
yeah.
I know.
I'm enraptured.
I know. I'm sorry. But it's like, oh, I could say this. And I'm like, nah, I probably shouldn't say that. But anyway, long story short, he ends up settling down in this San whatever it is. They name their own little town and start having these excursions and whatnot to try to get supplies and whatnot and bring them back. And so that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of a slow burn. Like everything was taken out, not just the population, the humans. Like one of the things he commented on, there were no like birds.
Oh, the wildlife was gone too?
Yeah. So he's like, it's weird how it like jumps species and stuff. And so he gets really excited when he finds this dog in the middle of the road.
And because he's going to eat it.
And he gets it. Well, no, see, that's the thing. It jumps certain species. So it wasn't an must eat type situation.
It's going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the food chain is completely broken. So now you're going to be eating dogs and cats like they are in whatever that town in Ohio is.
Canton.
Yeah.
Next door to us.
Can't wait.
They're eating the dogs and the cats. It's horrible.
Oh gosh, you guys are getting me off topic. I know this is not a very thrilling a topic, but the point of the show is it was very slow, but then after like the third episode, I was just like, okay, I need to see what happens next. It's like, does this dude live or does he die? Or, and it's weird because you're constantly waiting for someone to betray these kind folks that are still surviving. But eventually I'm sure it will happen. Can you hear the kids?
Oh yeah.
Tell them to be quiet. Good. I can hear them, but I have the monitor on over here. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so anyway, it's an interesting show. Kind of slow. Almost borderline kind of boring, but they give you just enough to make it like to string you along a little bit. So it's been interesting to follow that trail of breadcrumbs, and I still cannot explain what this trail of breadcrumbs that I'm following is. Like, is it to see whether or not they die? I'm sure they'll die eventually, but I don't know. So it's like I'm still trying to figure it out, and I freaking have a education in writing TV for entertainment. So it's like it's driving me crazy. It's like, why can't I pinpoint what it is that's so interesting, just making me want to follow this trail of breadcrumbs. So
I can say with confidence now, I am rooting for them to die.
I know after that story, it was bad, but it's very rough for me because I didn't know how. I couldn't explain. I didn't want to just, drop my mouth open and sputter out the first 4 or 5 episodes. So it's kind of like, how do I explain this without completely spoiling and ruining any chance of anyone ever watching it, which I did. I recognize that, but still.
Yeah, I don't think I'm watching anything else. I mean, the same old stuff, still slogging through the same old stuff.
Yeah.
Me and my wife have been lazy about getting through some of the other stuff we started. So still watching Silo weekly.
Yeah, we have Silo. We have Teacup, which is honestly like a horror suspense type vibe on Hulu. So I don't know if you've seen that, but the last episode I saw was this dude in a gas mask. So it's like, is he gonna show up and kill everybody, or what's going on? So I don't know. So we have a ton of shows, and not to mention a bunch of shows are coming back. So yeah.
Oh, I want to see that American Primeval that's coming out on Netflix.
Yes.
That looks real like a just brutal Western.
Yeah, it does.
And I mean, I like Taylor Kitsch, so
I still haven't seen that Territory, I think it is.
Yeah.
With Robert Taylor. Still haven't seen Territory, and still haven't watched The Diplomat, which is the second season of Diplomat, which
my wife watches it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. But anyway, we have a ton of stuff to watch, and it's only adding more every. I feel like I'm. Made my shitty time. Yes. Sort of like there's the whole mysterious, like, oh, was this the return of Jesus, and he took all of his people away with
like the rapture.
The rapture, yeah. So it's kind of like
oh boy.
Did you see the lights just flickered?
You brought up Jesus and the lights flickered. It's a sign.
Yeah, it must be. He's going to take away the power, and you'll be left hanging with just dairy to entertain you.
Oh, damn. That'll get rough real quick. You'll come back and there'll be a riot in this chat.
Well, speaking of riot, you want to pull that up? We apparently caused a little bit of a stir.
Oh, yeah, we can do that now. So
yeah,
let me move it over. Actually, no.
Right.
Let me share it on this screen.
Riley turned off the wrong light. That's all.
I'll move us over there. Let's see here. Where the hell is my share screen thing now? I moved us to another monitor and present.
No one's popping up, just so you know, for me.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
There we go. Ready?
Can you guys see it?
Now you
can.
Here
it comes. Okay. There we go. So I don't even remember when was this video posted? Does it say on here?
I don't know. It might, if you
have,
some sort of like Zoom.
So we can actually watch the comment and then talk about what this guy says.
Okay. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna play the video. So this was clipped as a YouTube short, which you probably posted on multiple platforms. Like, wouldn't it go on TikTok and probably Instagram too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a YouTube short, and just to say the least, this commenter was not happy with what I had to say in this video about
nor zombie either.
Blair Witch Book of Shadows. So here, we'll go ahead and play this for you guys.
Well, are you talking about the very original Blair Witch? Because there's 2 movies now called Blair Witch. There's the Blair Witch Project, and then there's Blair Witch. The Blair Witch Project is the first one, very first one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. So
Yeah.
it's one of those found footage ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Blair Witch Project.
the newer one is on Tubi, but not that one.
The second one's hot garbage.
Oh yeah, Book of Shadows, terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
so obviously myself and Zombie did not like Book of Shadows. So you've got the Blair Witch Project that came out in the 90s, probably 97-ish, I would say. And then you've got Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, I want to say is like 99, 2000. And then you've got Blair Witch that came out, I don't know, probably like 2017 or something. That was, it's not a remake, but it's like a continuation of the story 2 decades later.
Yeah.
And Blair Witch Book of Shadows, I don't know very many people who like it. I've seen it 3 times in my life and I didn't like it. But Mr. Beast Mode 32493 on YouTube,
calling you out,
commented on this post months after this has been posted, because this was sometime during the summer. If you think Book of Shadow, what's that, Dustin?
I don't think so.
I think it was when it was near the end of summer when we were talking about the Halloween lineup.
Okay.
I think it was somewhere in there, because I can even see in the video I've got a tan line. So I know it's sometime when sun was still out, but it's my mowing tan line. But this is what the guy had to say. If you think Book of Shadows was bad, then you need to just not ever bring up Blair Witch stuff ever again. Book of Shadows was awesome in its own way and never got the credit it deserved. So that makes both you and the other guy's opinion on the matter completely irrelevant.
Right.
So first of all, when you respond about something subjective that your opinion is completely irrelevant, that's a misguided saying. But I forgive you, Mr. Beast Mode, if you actually watch this, because you need forgiveness.
He's too chicken shit.
But then, so Dustin sends this to me last week, and so I decided to write a reply, which the one here is not my first reply I wrote. I have a knack for just kind of writing shitty comments to people, which Dustin's witnessed on Facebook for years now. So I wrote out one, then I deleted it, and I was like, no, everybody is entitled their opinion. So I just wrote, okay, make you a deal. You articulate here what you thought were the merits of Book of Shadows. So I wanted him to comment, what are the merits of it? Like, how is he judging this to be a successful movie? And then we would rewatch it, the first one and the second one, and give any updates to our opinions on the show. So, I wanted him to be
fair.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair ask. And I wanted him to be very specific. One of the things I can't stand is when people talk vague, like the script was awesome. Well, what about the script made it awesome? What about the cinematography made it awesome? Like, what about the story? Like, give me something here to work with so I can specifically look for those things and see if I'm being objective. And then Dustin jumps on and says later that day, what do you say at Mr. Beast Mode? Still haven't got a reply. Yeah. So I think the guy's just scared.
Yeah.
But I think we should still move forward with Operation Blair Witch Project.
All right.
Because
Yes.
I don't mind coming back. And if I watch it and the first 3 times I was just wrong, I will admit that my opinion's changed, because it has on certain movies over the years.
Yeah.
Either gotten better or gotten worse. This is a gamble. I could come back and feel like it's even worse than I originally thought it was and just eviscerate it on the show.
Zombie says, I was wrong. It's a stinking pile of shit, so I stand corrected.
Nice. But we're not pulling punches. Like if it's good, then I'll come back and say, here's the good things about it. If it's bad, I'm going to call out the bad. And if it's just a steaming pile of dog shit, then I'm going to piss on it and light it on fire. I will go buy a DVD copy of it, find it somewhere at a used video store, and light it on fire on live stream and piss on it. But not until it's completely burned up.
Well, right, because you can't stop it.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave a usable copy of the disc in there.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
But I think that's where we're at. I think we
have
need
a comment here from, if he's a Mr. Beast fan, he's also probably a pedo.
Uh-oh. Shots fired.
Probably.
So walking, talking Stephen Hawking is now stalking that you are a pedo.
So this is kind of where my head's at on this. And I told this to Dustin and I think Pumyra, you were in there because I made the Jurgens comment.
Yeah.
Younger males at the time probably loved this movie because it shows a naked woman, and then they could run to the bathroom and use a bottle of Jerkins and have a good time. Like, or they were in their bedroom and paused it. Like it was like the scene for me in Demolition Man where the chick's like calling him and everything, and just pause it there and then eject the videotape. So when I played it next, it would be right at that scene. So just in my opinion, like, I think this guy's totally wrong based off what I remember, but I'm willing to reassess. I will say, if it's still dog shit, in my opinion, I will never watch it again. Never. Spoken as if from experience. That's why I brought up Demolition Man. But Blair Witch 2 did not do that for me. If anything, it became an innie, not an outie. Because that movie was so bad.
Oh, good grief. Oh boy. All right. So those are the potential movies for next week.
Oh,
It's gotta be.
Decided.
It's gotta be.
We'll come back to that.
Oh no.
Come back to that because I want to
set
pick
in
something
stone.
else.
There's no fucking way. Pumyra and I are making a command decision. You haven't seen either of these 2 movies.
Neither have I.
It's like the perfect storm.
But there are other
wait.
movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, there's other movies I haven't seen, but this is the perfect storm. And it's a fresh wound.
Yeah, like you played the video. You have to.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
You can't do that because then he's gonna fire back. Why didn't you watch them?
He never commented.
That makes us look scared.
Yeah, we're not being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we ain't scared.
No.
I'll tell you what. If we do this week, then next week you pick whatever you want, Dustin.
Yeah,
I was
Both
just gonna
movies.
say.
Both movies.
I was just gonna say we should continue the Ghostbusters.
Oh,
I say we take a break, do this, and then go back to the 2 newer ones.
all
Yeah.
right.
Because I've seen not the most recent one, but the one before it. I still need to watch Frozen Empire, but
Yeah.
this is too good right now.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. That's fair. I'll time.
Then we need to
stole
post
my
a
innocence.
short and tag Mr. Beast Mode in it of our opinions about Book of Shadows.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. We'll have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tag people.
Well, I mean, we
Other
could just
than-
comment. We'll just comment on it and
Yeah.
tag him and be like, here's our updated opinion because you were too chicken shit to respond.
Of course.
You're going to throw out an opinion, and then when somebody comes back with something, you're not going to respond. Whatever.
Right.
Go hide behind your mommy.
He's probably 10 years old anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Oh, hopefully not.
But anyway, I digress. Let's get into tonight's movies that was assigned for this week.
Which are also to you guys. Well, Pumyra, had you seen these before? Damn.
No, these were fresh for both of us.
Interesting.
So I'm going to let you guys do the heavy lifting because, I mean, I've seen both of these countless times.
I don't even know where to start.
We might as well start with the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was going to say. So, Peter Venkman is kind of a skeezy, sleazy dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's always hitting on girls. His angle is to hit on the ladies in the audience and whatnot. So I forget what he was even. Oh, that's right. It starts out where he's like hosting some sort of like.
He's doing an experiment,
right?
A research experiment. Yeah.
And he's
so basically
paid them $5.
The experiment is he's studying ESP.
Right.
By administering electroshock. So the people had to guess what was on the other side of a card.
Yeah.
And if they got it wrong, he delivered electric shock. Yeah.
Right.
So whatever punishment is what it would be psychologically.
And there was the one time that the dude got it correct and he still shocked him.
Yeah.
But he was saying, "Oh, you're doing so great, so wonderful. That's 5 for 5." And she hasn't got a single one of them correct so far. And because he's wanting to hit on this girl. So anyway.
Oh, Peter Venkman's like total sleazebag. It's amazing.
It's something, all right. But it very much reminded me of, I guess this is really the only other role I've seen him in is Groundhog Day, where he's hitting on all the people of his so-called followers that don't even really seem to know he exists or even care. I don't know why you're sideways. Technical issues. Well, oh, there. She just dropped it. I'll have her join.
She'll be back
in a moment. Oh, let me pull this up while I'm actually thinking of it. Instead of share screen, window. Oh. All right. Just making sure I have it.
Oh, is it the rating system?
Yeah. It's a rating system.
So what else you got?
Well, I was wanting to wait for Pumyra here. Biggest twist. Yes, that is true.
Well, they're not horror movies, so
yeah,
they don't have to follow those traditional rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's supernatural, but it's a comedy. It's not a traditional horror movie.
Yeah. I don't know. So I never really got the whole Ghostbusters thing until, well, I can't even say until, but so my mom didn't want to watch these because she was under the impression that some Saturday Night Live person was behind it. And that was, she didn't like that person. And didn't ever care to watch it, and she primarily only watched the stuff that I was into, and I was a big Star Wars fantasy type guy. So I didn't this never even popped up on my radar ever. I only know the parts I've seen from little clips from that TV trivia type game. Seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen that type of stuff, and like I said, I think it was playing at my buddy's house on like New Year's. But there she is.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So I said, like I said, I think it was playing at my buddy's house in the background while people were talking to us, while people were having drinks, while we were, doing all this other things that didn't have to do with watching the movie. And again, have you ever watched a movie with that group of people that don't stop talking to let you actually enjoy the film?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was what this whole party was like. Everyone was talking and talking over, talking to me as I'm trying to watch this movie. And it's just like, I can't watch a movie like that. Just period. Straight. So I didn't have a good experience.
Oh, I'd murder somebody when that shit happens.
Right.
Like, I'll straight tell them, shut the fuck up. Like, people always wonder why I'll go watch a movie at the movie theater by myself. Yeah. I'm like, I ain't there to fucking talk to you or hold your hand. I want to watch the movie. Right. So what's it matter if I go with somebody? Right. Like, if you bother me during the movie, I'm dropping the elbow on you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think the few movies I've been to that I didn't have to go with someone was enjoyable. But
ouch.
I didn't mean that. You're fine because you know your place. You know it's not time to talk. I'm just saying you don't know. You know that it's not time to talk. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. You're right.
You follow the rules.
Yeah. You are also in the same boat. You're trying to enjoy the movie that's transpiring on the television screen in front of us.
Well, I mean, I'll straight up get like shitty with somebody in the theater. Like,
yeah, it's expensive to go.
I have to. I think we both.
I'll get shitty with somebody in the living room too. Like my stepson, like he'll ask me questions ahead of time, which was shit that my dad would always do. My dad and I loved watching movies, so we always watched them together. But he was one of those ones who would like try to figure out ahead of time and then ask me questions. I'd be like, "Watch the fucking movie. It's going to tell you. You're going to get there." Jesus.
Well, we would always joke about that on the commercial breaks, because this is back when you had to watch commercials. Although now we have to as well. So what the fuck ever. I'm not sure why we even.
It's all cyclical.
Revolution.
History repeats itself, man.
Right.
Yep.
So we would always joke about that on commercials. It's like, oh, well, so and so will die and the show will be over, and that was always the joke every commercial break. Some new person would die and that'll be the end of the show. And so I would sit there and like go through the motions and try to think ahead and like what are these people's motivations and try to figure it out ahead of time. I just wouldn't share it with anyone. And I later learned that was also not a good idea, because I ended up spoiling the entirety of one season of Dexter because I had suggested something, and I'm like, well, this guy is, I think that's his dark passenger talking, it's whatever. It's like, anyway.
You were right.
I ended up being right, and everyone's just like, Anyway, I digress. So, yes, you missed the comments. Talking Stephen Hawking said the biggest twist is that in these movies is the black guy never dies, which we said is true, but it's not a typical horror movie. And then I brought you back in. And what are your thoughts on GhostBusters.
Oh, and Stephen Hawking posted in there, what about Girl Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
That movie doesn't exist to me.
No, it doesn't. I don't care if it has
terrible
Chris Evans or whatever. It's not Chris Evans.
Thor.
Or
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, yeah. I don't care if it has Chris Hemsworth.
Terrible.
But anyway.
He's Thor. He's Thor.
Yeah.
Just leave him like that. I thought it was cheesy. It's silly.
So is it cheesy in a good way?
It was fun. I'll give it that. But like the ghosts and stuff and all the ooze and you're trying to eat something and yeah.
I mean, you gotta put it in perspective though, the time period that it came. I mean,
yeah, 84.
This movie came out not even a year after I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, special effects and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
I thought those had decent special effects, especially given the time. Because
oh yeah, the what were they, dinosaurs or gargoyles or
they're gargoyles. They
the dog
kind of dogs,
the
but
dogs, yeah.
But
okay.
They were gargoyles. But yeah, I get that. But I've seen worse. I know we've seen worse on this show.
By far.
Which one? Oh well, the ants didn't look like ants in that one movie, The Bone Collector.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead is from this time period. A lot of that looked like dog shit. I mean, I know zombie.
You're right.
Some of the techniques and stuff were adapted for later, but I mean, still, compared to other movies at the time, these special effects were actually pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, like Star Wars special effects, you may not have been around for the original Star Wars special effects, but you know, it was.
No, I watched all the originals.
Well, I meant Pumyra.
Pumyra.
She probably hasn't seen the original special editions where it's just a hand puppet as the Wampa. Mm-hmm. There isn't that awesome Wampa scene. It's just that's walking and treading towards Luke. No. It's just a hand Wampa. It's like and over the screen, and then he passes out and wakes up in the cave. No. It was all very rudimentary, and the tauntauns.
But cutting edge at the time.
It was, which is why I'm saying it, and that still stands today. They didn't improve upon the Wampas walking, or they didn't improve upon the tauntauns walking at all, but it still stands, and I think this still stands today. But that's just my opinion. I'll go ahead and rate this. I'll say I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna say it was a 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'll wait and give my thoughts after both of you have rated it, because I don't want there to be any pressure.
I'm gonna say 3.5.
Okay, 3.5. Double check that here. Very good, interesting concept, execution, evoking. Okay, is that what you want to stick with?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're giving it basically a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, which is a good score. I mean, on IMDb, cumulatively, it gets a 7.8. So, I mean, a lot of people think it's just right around a 4 for the most part. I would say this movie is in my top 5 comedy movies of all time.
Okay.
Comedy. Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, it is science fiction mixed with comedy, but it's the comedy brought to this movie, I think, that makes it great.
Yeah, for sure. I was laughing so hard during those first scenes. Like, it was just so outrageous. Like them like driving through every single time you see the Ecto-1 veer around a corner. There's cars like crooning away from them because it's just outrageous. I don't know.
Yeah, so you think about it. So Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Rick Moranis actually wrote the script, which Rick Moranis, some things say he was uncredited, some things say he's actually a credited writer, but all three are famous comedians. So, I mean, Rick Moranis, he did so many good things before he left Hollywood. I mean, Dan Aykroyd, Saturday Night Live, like all of his stuff. Harold Ramis has written literally tons of great movies, which we already reviewed one, and you already brought it up on this show, which was Groundhog Day. He wrote it, but I will list off some stuff he wrote. Probably some of it you never saw. But Meatballs, the original Caddyshack, Stripes with Bill Murray, Ghostbusters, Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. Let's see here. Caddyshack 2, Ghostbusters 2, Groundhog Day, Analyze This. So we're getting more into the 90s stuff.
Okay.
Bedazzled, which was a Brendan Fraser, Elizabeth Hurley movie, which was good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember that.
Analyze That, which is the sequel to Analyze This. Year One with Jack Black and Michael Cera.
Yeah,
he wrote
Michael
the
Cera,
screenplay for that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say funny. It was a decent movie. I remember that movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, he is very cemented into the comedy genre. Plus, he plays Egon Spengler. So, I mean, kind of a departure from what you would think. Like Egon Spengler's like that nerdy, intelligent guy, but Harold Ramis was really just kind of a silly. He was kind of buttoned up, but he was still pretty silly. He wasn't like Dan Aykroyd, who's just over the top all the time, and Bill Murray. So
I think it was important to have those characters that just existed and let the other people feed off of them.
Oh yeah.
So he would deliver a line and then boom, boom, boom. You know,
their dynamic as a group.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You've got Peter Venkman, who's the sleazeball.
Yeah.
You've got Ray Stantz, who is like the really excited, like he's not the smartest, but he's the true believer. Right. Egon's the intellectual, and then you got Winston Zeddemore, who's kind of the blue collar, like get it done guy.
Yeah.
And just the way they interact in the movie with each other, with the other people in the movie. Like the guy who's the manager of the hotel when they go into the ballroom.
Yeah, they destroyed that.
The old lady behind the cleaning cart.
Yeah.
She's trying to put the fire out with the spray bottle.
Yeah, there's so many interactions. Like
and that comment you were talking about, I think last week or the week before, where he's just like, that's a fact. He is a dick. And it's just, oh my God, I laughed so hard at that.
Oh yeah. So basically, I remember the scene obviously better now. So at one point, Walter Peck is responsible for releasing all the ghosts out of containment back into New York City.
Yeah.
And the Ghostbusters get arrested for it. And then nobody knows what to do. So they get called up to the mayor's office to have a meeting. And Walter Peck, who's Stephen Atherton, I think's his name. He was the dickhead in Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in there. And so he just hates Bill Murray's character, Peter Venkman.
Yeah.
And he's just rifling off all the shit that he thinks the Ghostbusters did to cause this thing. And Bill Murray calls him dickless while he's saying it. Well, the mayor turns to Bill Murray and goes, "Is this true?" Talking about everything that Richard Peck is saying. Like, is it true that the Ghostbusters did all this stuff? And Bill Murray just delivers the line like, "Yes, it's true. This man has no dick." And I just remember when I was young, like losing my shit over that.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite lines from the whole movie.
I would say hands down.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I just,
so Zombie
this movie,
said this is 4
4-star.
4 stars. Okay, so he rated it the same as I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, just looking back on it, I mean, rewatching it for probably the 10th trillionth time in my life. I mean, all the nostalgia and everything puts it at a 5 for me. I could see someone coming into it now. I grew up with all these comedians. It's like my favorite comedians. Like you had Spies Like Us, Great Outdoors, like all of these crazy movies from this group of guys. And this is by far my favorite from all of them. I would probably say more, if I saw it today, I would probably be in the 4.5 range. But yeah, I mean, there were so many good people in this movie, like Winston Zeddemore, so Ernie Hudson, who at 78 looks like he's still the same age.
Right.
There's like pictures of him, and I'm like, dude's almost 80, and he looks just like he did in Ghostbusters.
Way better than me.
Yeah, and they're asking him, like, basically he stands up and starts talking in defense of the Ghostbusters because he's not a scientist. And he's like, I've seen shit that'll turn a black man white. Like, there was just so many epic deliveries.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Darth Burney told me is so they thought this movie was going to be an absolute flop.
What?
Which one?
Ghostbusters.
The original one?
Before it was made or anything, Bill Murray would basically, he went into it thinking it was just going to suck. So, like, he didn't even really act the part for Peter Venkman. He was just himself, just a smart ass the whole time. And I mean, it created one of the best characters for me in all of comedy, because I freaking love his sleazebag character. It's amazing. So, but yeah, I mean, with the history I have with this movie, I mean, it spawned one of the greatest soundtrack songs of all time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Parker Jr. with, you know, Who You Gonna Call It? Like that. The Ghostbusters theme is literally one of the best songs of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least soundtrack songs.
Well, I would also have to say, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 has a good soundtrack, but
we haven't even started talking about we haven't even got to Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack.
I know we're still have to get there.
But yeah, I mean, this is top 5 comedy movie for me of all time. And I've got some more modern ones in there.
Yeah.
But also, like, this is probably the classic comedy movie for me. Like, the one I would say is my favorite from this era.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out, like, at what point I share this with my kids, because there's some adult themes in it. Yeah,
like when the ghost is floating over him and his pants unzip.
Yeah, that's when I was okay with everything up until that point when the ghost is over him, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm not showing this to my kids.
Yeah,
No.
It's like, yeah, I'll pass there, but
yeah, I mean, in the 80s, everybody watched stuff like this. Like, I mean, damn, I was probably 6-7 years old watching this movie with my parents. This is a different time, Pumyra.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we built ramps for our bicycles, and
I did too.
We had the freaking tilt-a-whirl that you would fly off of and bang your head on shit. So, yeah.
Did you have those?
The what?
Did you have jarts?
What's a jart?
It's a lawn dart, but they called them jarts, and they're huge metal, had a plastic wing on the end of them, and you throw them up in the air, and then they would come thudding down in the ground.
I mean,
you're not supposed to throw them up in the air. You're supposed to throw them at the target, but no one ever did that. Everyone threw them straight up in the air, and then everyone scattered.
We had an old school set of lawn darts that was like from the 60s, and those things were sharp and deadly.
Right.
Wow.
I remember me and my brothers like smashing each other with our croquet mallets and shit. Because we played a lot of croquet as a family, and like we'd get pissed off at each other. Because like in croquet, you can put your ball next to somebody's, and like you keep your foot on top of your ball, and you can smash somebody's ball, and it goes flying off. Like we were such dicks. Like we'd hit them out in the middle of like the cornfield and shit. So the person had no chance of winning, and then we'd end up beating each other with our damn mallets. It was 80s was a great time.
Wow.
Let's see. We fell off the monkey bars onto concrete, burned our asses on the sliding board, and it was awesome.
The metal slide that was 10 trillion degrees because it was in the sun all day.
Especially
that's how we
South
eliminated
Carolina.
the weaker children back in those days. No snowflakes allowed.
That's called natural selection.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get on to Ghostbusters 2. I just want to say real quick, this rating came up before the movie started playing, and they said antagony and ecstasy, and I'm saying that antagony, an almost uniformly substandard follow-up that since the original film remains so beloved by so many people, it still gets to be disappointing even 2 decades and change later. Is that how you felt about this movie? That's my question to you.
To which person? Me?
Just in general. The audience.
I mean, I still think this is a solid movie, but it, in my book, it no way lived up to the first movie. Like, I thought the inclusion of the like slime packs was cool, like how they did some of that. Yeah. There was just parts of the story that I didn't like. I didn't like that the Ghostbusters fell on hard times and we're doing birthday parties.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I get they kind of had to go that way because they solved the problem in the first movie.
That was I'm gonna call it out here in the chat. Tim Brayton saying that wrong, and I don't give a shit. You are a worthless sack of skin.
What? Anyway. What is going on?
The person who said that comment, that rating I just said a minute ago.
Yeah,
it was that guy. I just said. That's all I'm saying.
So the follow-up movie, it has its bright spots, but it nowhere near lives up to, in my opinion, what the first one was. Right. It is a solid follow-up, but I mean, it's very rare that a movie comes out as a sequel and
exceeds the first.
Yeah, I mean, you had it. I think Christopher Nolan did it with The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Batman Begins was good. Dark Knight was really good. I think Lord of the Rings probably. I still think, and Darth Burry and I got into this talking about this the other night. I still probably give The Two Towers the edge over Fellowship of the Ring, in my opinion. Just because the Battle of Helm's Deep is so epic.
Yeah.
But those were pretty close in quality to me. I think the third one's the weakest one of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. Just in my opinion.
I don't know. I could see how that's somewhat true, but I got goosebumps, literal goosebumps, watching that third one.
Yeah, but that's because the first one's built that shit up for you.
You can see your way out.
There's, I will agree with Stephen Hawking though. There's parts of The Dark Knight that haven't held up that well. Like when you go back and watch it now, there's some weird scenes in it too that at the time I think people were willing to overlook because Heath Ledger's performance was so good.
Yeah.
Love
and all that.
movie.
I think they could have tweaked the ending a little bit to make it better. And it would be
I think
an
it would be
epic
better
movie of all time.
I think it would be better if that had ended the trilogy though.
Oh yeah, the third movie was the weakest in that trilogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Bane is one of my favorite storylines. The Nightfall storyline, and
it's hard to top the storyline that we, know.
They butchered it
totally, but wow, that all discombobulated.
GhostBusters 2.
Talking about the Lord of the Rings, I actually enjoyed the third one. I thought the spider and that whole bit was excessive. I felt like it got drawn out a lot more than it needed to be. But I still think it's a freaking fantastic movie.
My thing was though, when I read the books, I preferred the second book. So even though it's well done in the third movie when they're having that massive battle, and then all of a sudden Aragorn just shows up with ships full of ghosts who just decimate the entire army. I'm just like, that's cheating. Like, but it's accurate, but to me it kind of took the wind out of my sails. Yeah. So I still got to give the nod to the Two Towers. The Battle of Helm's Deep. The
Battle of Helm's Deep was insane.
That's probably the coolest part of the series. But I really liked the first movie a lot more than I did back then.
Agreed.
Now, the Boromir storyline is just so good. Like and plus Sean Bean dies and everything that he's in. So
I want to say he has a clause now that says, don't make me die if this is going to be a continuing thing.
Oh, I don't think that's a clause at all because he's continued to die in other properties since then. So, but yeah, we just went totally ADHD there.
Yep.
So back to Ghostbusters 2. I agree that it sucked that the certain parts of the storyline was disappointing, like the fact that they fell on hard times. The fact that they got sued, and you find out that they got sued, and everyone on God's green earth sued the shit out of them. That meant they didn't get their money, and they didn't get paid. And you find out that stuff. It's just like that sucks. Like
he took a third.
They saved the day.
But I think that's a commentary on what was happening in America through that time period of everybody became Sue happy.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Like now.
Well,
that
was like where it really started to get bad, and like 70s and 80s. Now all of a sudden 89, you're kind of giving a little bit of a social commentary on it.
Yeah. The other thing I didn't particularly like was the whole like falling out. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say they should have ended up together, but the whole falling out with and how they didn't actually end up getting together.
With
at the beginning
with Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver
and Sigourney Weaver. Also, which side note, I found it very difficult to watch her in this type of role coming off of Alien and Avatar, where she was more like badass and / teacher to other people. Like it just felt like such a kick in the nuts. Like, had to have felt that way for
See,
her.
I always thought, like back in the day when I was a younger kid, I always had a thing for Sigourney Weaver. So
Huh.
I liked her in these movies because she was feminine, but I also liked her as Ripley, like being a badass too. Like I still think she was hot as Ripley. So like,
yeah, I would say that's
best of both
accurate.
worlds.
But yeah, I think a happy medium could have been found, but that's besides the point.
I'd
I'm
take
just
either
talking about
one.
Yeah.
in real life. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, to each their own. That's all I'll say there. But so that was kind of disappointing. But you know, they go on to her son becomes the plot of the movie. Who she has a son with some other person who ended up abandoning her and leaving her and all
He
that.
was in the
But
orchestra. He was in the orchestra.
yeah, got a better job.
First guy. Yeah, the first guy from the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it was him? Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Oh,
oh
the
yeah,
guy, the nose spray guy.
Yes.
Is that who you're talking about? Yeah.
Yes. That was him.
okay. That's funny. I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together. I was just like, oh, okay, so
Yeah.
she married someone else, and this isn't Venkman's kid. It's
Like-
this other dude's kid.
I wasn't like Vigo to me. Like Zool was so big in the first movie.
Yeah.
Like then you have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like the
Yeah.
scale of evil in this movie. Like I get that ugly fucker that plays Vigo is super evil. Just I didn't feel the punch from the bad guy in this movie like I did in the first movie.
Yeah, I
You're
think that's
right.
because they didn't actually end up showing it. They just talked about it from a folded
Mhm.
up piece of paper that was dictated to them from, you know, some computer program.
Mm-hmm.
No one actually got to see the atrocities this person was committing
Mhm.
in their time. Like, I think this is one rare event that if they had actually set this in the past and had him at his height and power and then fast forwarded to today, I think it could have made that punch a lot more more present. But
I think that's probably a symptom
Also-
of you have comedians writing this movie
yeah,
and they probably didn't have the experience to like, how do I make this guy more dramatic? Like you needed a little to see some of his backstory,
yeah,
in my opinion.
either in like a flashback or some like possession type thing, or at the very least, I don't know. But and yes, okay, we'll get to this. The depiction of the Statue of Liberty is made of stone. It's actually got it right. It's not made of stone, folks.
That's the comment I was talking about
Yeah.
during the movie.
Yeah,
Didn't somebody make a comment? Yes. Thank you, Eric.
anyway,
You're
but
right. No one makes Nikes for that in that sauce.
yeah, but anyway, I have no idea what I was going with that or even saying. So tap
More
in.
of a backstory.
Yeah, well, yeah, totally. I think it needed one a little bit, either through, you know, like I said, the backstory is in flashback or a vision or something like that, or I think it could have benefited from. But again, I get what Derry's saying. It's probably, you know, not necessarily their fault because they didn't really know how to give someone more dramatic
That's right.
presence.
That's right.
And it didn't have to be a long thing. I wouldn't
Right.
think it could just be like a very quick montage, like go into the painting
Yeah.
and then like see him in his element, and 15 seconds of just scenes of him doing something really bad, like
Yeah.
torturing people, like whatever it is.
I was actually thinking more along the lines of what they did in Robin Hood. You know how it was, you know, in the past, and they're fighting, and then they ended up having to get freed, and then they began their trip to. I feel like could have been something like that, even shorter, but
Christian.
yes. Make
Great
him home
movie right there.
and give Old Yeller rabies. Okay.
I mean, that happens.
It could have
to
been an
dogs, and then you
improvement.
have to shoot them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've never had to shoot your own dog, you ain't living.
No,
Just putting that out there.
I haven't had to shoot my own dog. I
Grew up on a farm, so sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Dog for a few moments.
And then you had to shoot it.
No, I didn't. We actually took him to live in West Virginia with my aunt and uncle, and he had a grand old time running around, going wherever he wanted, because he just we'd put him on his leash in his little pen type area, and he would break the leash and run off and be down the neighborhood in seconds. And he just kept doing that, and so yeah, that's what we ended up having to do with him.
But I will say about Ghostbusters 2, while not as good of a soundtrack song, they brought Bobby Brown in and created a banger of On Our Own. That song was the shit back in the day. Like cruising the skating rink, that song comes on. Like you're wanting to do the dance steps on your skates. Freaking loved it. Loved it. I still listen to that song. I have it on one of my 80s playlists.
Wow.
I'll say I will definitely add the Ghostbusters soundtrack to my lit play 80s playlist, because I don't think it is now. So it's just one of those songs that it's like, yeah, I heard that next, you know, like, because I didn't get it and had never seen the movie. So Undead Ramen says air supply, dang it. Big farm, lots of room to run. Yeah, we actually did see him. He was, yeah, we actually drove him down, and yeah. Anyway, I'm done talking about that.
All right, so let's get down to the numbers.
Let's get to the ratings here. I viewed it more as a continuation. So yes, there were some hiccups, but I enjoyed it back to back as if no time had passed, even though it said 5 years later. Right. To me, it still felt no time had passed. So I would still say it's at least getting a 3 out of me.
I like the fact that they made the Statue of Liberty walk with the good ooze. 3.5 still.
The good jizz.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm only at a 3.5 on this one. I mean, solid follow-up, not great. I mean,
Zombie says 2.5.
3.
They were riding a wave of popularity.
Oh yeah, 3.5.
They had the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which I actually really liked that cartoon when I was a kid. Even though it was loosely related to the Ghostbusters series. I had the real Ghostbusters toys, the action figures. They were pretty cool. But I think I've mentioned it on this show, or maybe it was on another show I was on. I never wanted anything more in my life than one of the kid-sized proton packs. Like
Yeah,
They
right?
made
they had
those.
it in the J.C. Penney catalog. You could order them, like
Yeah.
the Christmas catalog, and
Yep.
literally, I would have murdered one of my brothers to get one of those. Like I can't even tell you how much I begged my parents, don't buy me a bunch of presents, just buy me one. Never got one of them some bitches.
Yeah.
Like if I saw it in a toy store tomorrow, I'd buy it.
They don't want ooze all over their house.
Well, this was from the first movie,
Yeah,
not
just
the ooze
shot
one.
pretend lasers.
Yeah,
Oh well, then
Not-
what's
not
so
the-
wrong with that?
Yeah, right.
but I never
Besides
got
the
it.
Cat's going crazy. But if you had cats,
Yeah. I don't even know if it shot anything.
No, it just had like
just-
it looked like
I
the
like-
proton stream coming out
Yeah.
of like when you pulled it up. I think it
Oh, that's
spun, like you could make it spin or something somehow. I'd have to go back and look at it, but
Yeah.
oh, that'd be fun to look at.
yeah. Never got it. Broke my
Yeah.
heart.
Breaks my heart for you. But, and did you give your rating? What was it?
Me?
She was 3.5 and I was
three
3.5.
and a half.
And you 3.5. Okay, 3.5, 3.5, and 2.5. And I think I said 3 stars.
Eric is 3.5.
3.5. I said 3. Y'all both said
3.5.
3.5. Just trying to make this on record for when I eventually get time to go back and listen to all these things, to write them down and put them somewhere, which I don't even know if I'm going to do that. But
So Blair Witch for next week.
yep, Blair Witch in the
Blair
Garbage
Witch
sequel.
Project
Blair Witch Project and the
and
garbage sequel.
Book of Shadows. Because
Is
if
the
you say
garbage sequel
if you
still
just say
on-
Blair Witch, people will look up Blair Witch and they'll just watch the one called Blair Witch. It's got to be Project.
2000 film. Let's see.
My mom watched it in her bedroom by herself, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. So I want to watch it.
Dang it! Where's the?
Like
Hold up.
I said this to Dustin before we went live. I do think like people who've ever went hiking, like spent time out in the rural areas, been in the woods after dark, I think they will understand the themes in this movie. I think
Dustin?
it didn't hit with probably some populations who think that that's ridiculous because they've never experienced. Like one of the most terrifying things, especially when you're younger, is like being in the woods after dark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially seeing what you saw, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
You saw an altar.
I mean, we had
With
a
a-
place
with a
right
goat
down the
tied
road
to
from
it.
me called Witch's Circle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a popular place to take people to freak them the fuck out, is what it was.
Ooh. Can we go?
I can remember having just seen something about bats on TV, and then having to walk up the hill to my grandma's house, from my grandma's house up to my aunt's house.
Oh,
she
that
just
was a
lived up
big
the hill. And yeah,
it
just
was
up the
a
big hill, and there's all these bats swarming the lights and stuff, and you're like, ah, as you feel them flying
Hmm.
past you, wings flapping in the air. It's just like, ah, run.
I mean, we had a 30-acre woods on our property.
Yeah.
So pretty big woods. And then like we had all of our buildings where all of our pigs and stuff were. Well, there aren't lights in those things. So
Right.
like if we got caught out working late, like, and we still had to do our chores and shit, we're doing it in there in the dark in these old ass barns. Like it scared the living shit out of you. But you know, people who live in the concrete jungle where it's light all the time. Like, I just don't know if these movies really land with some of those populations. Now, there might be some people from the city like, no way in hell would I ever go out and look for a witch in Burkittsville, Maryland.
Awesome.
We'll see what you think.
Yeah. So, Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch Book of Shadows. That's what I was trying to do. Is at the time it wasn't it on?
Oh yeah, we should probably
on Tubi.
Take a look at that.
Okay, it looks like Blair Witch 2 is available with a Stars subscription.
Stars?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do this to me.
I'm trying to. Where is the freaking IMDb link, dude? Come on. Let's see. Here we go. Stop it. Stupid thing.
Well,
all right.
None of them are on Tubi anymore. So maybe we might have to pivot on this one for a second.
They also have Blair Witch Experience. I wonder what that's like. Yeah, I don't know if my friend will have it on. He's not a huge horror buff, but
like it's literally not on any of the major streaming services. Losers.
Oh man, don't they know we needed it?
I know.
We didn't give him a heads up.
Well, I guess if it came out in 99. I thought it was a couple of years earlier than that. Yeah, I guess if we can't do that, then we can back it up with the other two Ghostbusters.
All right, let's do that.
And we're talking Ghostbusters and Frozen Empire, yeah?
Yeah, it's Afterlife and then Frozen Empire.
Afterlife and Frozen Empire, okay. Okay, let's...
yeah.
Let's do that, and then we'll see if we can find it. Let's see. It's January, so maybe we'll find it in February. It's the next. Yeah. Well, it's either that or we rent it, but I don't know if I want to rent a.
We'll figure something out.
Movie, but yeah, and plus I can't set up the stream for next week anyway because we're actually in the process of moving from one hosting service to another hosting service. Still the same platform, but that's all behind the scenes technical. You don't need to worry about that. Just come back and pay attention to our socials. We will announce what movies we're watching there by Sunday at the latest. So, all righty. It all sounds good. Then
I'm good.
I will say,
peace out.
Peace out, and Thunder Nerds ho.
Ho.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens day.